Welcome to Commanders Daily, everybody. It's your one-stop shop for everything going on with the Burgundy and Gold. I'm Bob Matthews. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss a day of it. Okay, we are back to work. Commanders back on the practice field in Ashburn today. A little bit later on today, we're going to hear from Dan Quinn and Jaden Daniels, as well as get some comments from some guys in the locker room. So we'll have that for you tomorrow. After that, the Commanders will do themselves another full practice on Thursday, then one on Friday. They'll have a walkthrough on Saturday. Kickoff, 1 o'clock at Northwest Stadium against the Giants. Week 1, it is finally here. And by the way, late yesterday afternoon, the club announced that the game against the Giants is officially sold out. You want to go, you don't have a ticket yet, you better go to the secondary market in order to find something. Boy, I tell you what, yet another sign that we are a long way from a couple of years ago when stadium would be half to three-quarters filled and you would see a lot of the opposing team's fans in there. And that's what I'm really going to be interested to see on Sunday is how many Giants fans are amongst this sellout. It still hasn't been, where it's just packed with Commanders fans. And I think in this day and age, you just don't get that anymore. It's just too easy for people to be fans of teams from outside of the area, especially in D.C. Everybody eventually wants to come to D.C. and see a game. So it'll be interesting to see what the vibe is. I got a feeling that Northwest, though, is going to be jumping on Sunday. The big story yesterday was that Commanders finally released, and I don't know why I said finally because this is just the time that you do it, but they released the depth chart here for the very first time this season, at least the official depth chart. The one surprise, and I don't know exactly how much I would read into it, but Austin Eckler was listed as the starting running back, and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt listed as the number 4 running back. First of all, I think they probably a good chance they're going to have all 4 of their running backs up and active, and I really do expect to see Bill Barrett get quite a few touches as the game goes on Sunday. Josh Connerly Jr. is slotted in right now as the starting right tackle. Nick Allegretti right now is slotted in. Actually, I take that back. And that's very interesting that in the right guard position, the Commanders have it listed as Nick Allegretti or Andrew Wiley. Now, they do have Allegretti listed first, but again, this is the only guy they put an or in front of in Wiley. Clearly, still not sure exactly how that's going to shake out as far as who's going to start at right guard, but the offensive line will look like this. Laramie Tunsil at left tackle, Brandon Coleman at left guard, Tyler Biadasz at center, either Allegretti or Wiley at right guard, Connerly at right tackle. Zach Ertz is your starting tight end. Terry McLaurin, Noah Brown, Deebo Samuel, your starting wide receivers. As far as the defense goes, really nothing that surprising. You're going to see Von Miller listed as a starting outside linebacker, but again, remember that he is only going to be in there situationally. If it's a passing down, he'll be in there. If it's not, he won't. The rest of your starting defensive line, you got Dietrich Wise Jr. at one defensive end, Deron Payne, Javon Kinlaw at the tackles, Dorrance Armstrong at the other edge, Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu, your other linebackers. Then it's Lattimore, Amos, and Sanders still as your corners, Will Harris and Quan Martin, your safety. So again, not a huge surprise on any of those either. And we're ready to go. It's a couple of more days of workouts, and then they will, they'll be ready to kick it off on Sunday. As for the Giants, and we are, looking more and more at, obviously, the game plan here and what it's going to take to beat the Giants. Do we think that they are going to win? Yeah, we do. And I know that it's funny because yesterday there were so many people just kind of trying to paint the scenario of how can the Giants win. It's the NFL. You can't just roll your hat on the field. It takes bringing your A game every week. And if they are going to get some problems from the Giants. I think it's going to be in the running game. The Giants' strength to their offense is their running game. So it's going to be absolutely essential to shut down Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary, and Cam Scatterman, the rookie. If they can shut them down, I think that means Malik Neighbors doesn't go nuts. If they can't shut the run down, if they've got to walk an extra guy into the box, that is really, really gonna open up things in the passing game, and you're gonna be playing a dangerous game with Malik Neighbors out there. And we remember how well he played both games last year against the Commanders. And then again on defense, and you'll see the base defense for the Giants be 3-4. But you got to account for Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence at all times. And then, man, what are they going to do with Abdul Carter? Now, right now, officially, Carter's listed as the backup outside linebacker, but he is going to get a ton of snaps. They're going to move him all over the field as well. He might be one play. He might be rushing from the edge. Another next play, he's playing outside linebacker and dropping back into coverage. He's that good, so they got to account for him there as well. But again, the bottom line here is that the Commanders just have a better roster. I mean, that's just the way it is. So while you could have some dicey moments in the game, I fully expect at the end of it, and I hope I'm not eating my words in saying that, but I fully expect at the end of it that the Commanders will be celebrating their first win of the season. So again, stopping the Giants' run game is the key to this thing. You stop the Giants' run game, you make Russell Wilson have to win it. I think that's the key right there, because Russ, as we know, is just not the player he was even 3 or 4 years ago, much less anything else. All right, let's go ahead and hit the mailbag. We, as always, thank you for writing in. If you've got any comments on how you think the Commanders, what you think the keys to the game are, please drop a comment there in the box, and we will get to it tomorrow. Don Lewis, 1728, says, I agree with you, sir. Washington, 34-13 over an annoying Giants team. I believe that JD5 and the running game dominates. The passing game picks up 3 or 4 big chunk plays. HTTR, and Terry McLaurin has a solid, if not spectacular, day. I like it, Donald. I like your spirit there, and I think you have a very good chance of being right. And Jim's got to bust my chops. There is no second T in Tunsil. You are absolutely right, Jim. I stand corrected, my good man. It was a long day yesterday. What can I tell you? And KZ8, 74-75. I hope you're right, but there are no easy wins in the NFL. In fact, nothing is easy in this game. That's why the guys get paid millions of dollars, and you are absolutely right. Like I said, bring the A game, not going to be a problem. Shut down the run game of the Giants, again, not going to be a problem. Do that, you're fine. Don't, and then it gets dicey. All right, that's going to do it for us today. We got to get on out of here. Don't forget, like and subscribe and drop a comment. What do you think the key is to a Commanders victory on Sunday? We will talk about it tomorrow. And remember, like the wise man once said, if you're out on your bike tonight, as always, do wear white.